Okay. All right. Morning. Now, I'm going to talk about sports because a lot's been going on during week one of the NFL season. And looks like the NFL season is on the books. It's in the books. And I have to say, it was very crazy watching those highlights. There was one game, I don't think there was one game I didn't watch of the highlights. And that was the game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. And I have to say that watching those highlights, I think maybe the Texans won that game. I have to check the scores and see. But I have to say that I was surprised of the highlights between the Arizona Cardinals and the Tennessee Titans. And you would think that the Arizona Cardinals would have beaten the Titans with their offense. But let me say, according to the highlights, they put on a defensive clinic against Ryan Tannehill and company. And I think the defense held Derrick Henry to minimal yardage of rushing. So that says a lot right there as to what is going on here in the NFL or with the Arizona Cardinals. And I'll just do this here. All right. So just a little bit of commentary here on football. Now I've seen some of the highlights between Kansas City and the Cleveland Browns. Now I would have thought Baker Mayfield and Jarvis Landry would and Nick Chubb would beat the Chiefs. But as you know, Patrick Mahomes is known for his comeback victories in the past. You can't let them, you can't sit comfortably against them because they'll come back and eventually they came back and beat the Browns. That's the highlight of the Sunday. So I have to name all the probably name all the winners. And I'll do that at the end of this live stream. I got to give myself at least a few minutes for this live stream to come on. And week one of the NFL's in the books once again. And I don't know what else to say. And I saw one highlight of the game between the Saints and the Packers. Now, I don't think I watched that either, but the Saints put on a defensive clinic against Aaron Rodgers and company. And it seemed, according to the highlights, Aaron Rodgers, some reports, Aaron Rodgers didn't really want to play. Now, he was speculating that whether or not to play this season or to even or to retire. And I think maybe that decision caught him off balance in week one because the Saints really blew them away. And I saw one highlight between the Dolphins and Patriots. Now, I thought the Patriots would win because the way the quarterback was playing, but the Dolphins came back and won that game over the Patriots without, because Tom Brady left the team last season. And of course, they won against the Buccaneers. They won against the Dallas Cowboys in a close nail biter. So, yeah, and one game between the Jets and the Carolina Panthers, they won that game. Panthers won that game, I think. So, and the Bengals and the Vikings, let's just say it was somewhat of an upset where the Bengals beat the Vikings in overtime. And in other games, Seattle and Indianapolis. Seattle won that game, of course. And in the other games, the Chargers beat the Washington football team. So that reveals a lot. And I've seen some plays by players that I've never heard of before. And they're going to have, I would say, an all-star season, all-pro season this football season. And I'd say that there was a blowout between San Francisco and Detroit, and San Francisco blew out. Well, I wouldn't say it was a blowout. It was a close game. I think Jared Goff put up some large numbers for the Detroit Lions. Maybe in a losing cause. Check the scores on that. Now, the Giants and the Broncos played. And with Teddy Bridgewater, with this new team of the Broncos, they played well. I would say, watching the highlights of the defense, with Von Miller in the picture, the defense of the Denver Broncos gives teams a whole different look with Von Miller. He seemed to be playing 100%, like he's always been playing. If they play like this, imagine them playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll give the Chiefs a run for their money, and I would say. And last but not least, this game I was watching. Well, not last but not least, this game I was watching. The end of it between Las Vegas and the Baltimore Ravens. And I would say that Ravens were leading at some point. Then I think Las Vegas came back to win the game. I think it was a late fumble by Lamar Jackson for the Ravens that caused the Raiders to score the touchdown. Late. And the guy was wide open for the pass. You believe that? For Las Vegas. They were wide open for the pass. You believe that? Just believe it, because it's real, surreal, and yeah. So this stream is going to be short. I don't want to be longer than this. Just about the NFL. Now that I guess protocols have been lifted a little bit, and you got crowds sitting in the games. And let me tell you, if they were to close those games because of the spread of COVID, then I don't know. It would have been a real big riot. But I'm glad people are watching the games live in the stadiums again, because that just makes things a little bit easier for not just the league itself, but for the team owners themselves. So I'm going to run off the winners from week 1. Miami, Denver, Kansas City, Los Angeles Chargers, and the Las Vegas Raiders. And Las Vegas, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Seattle, and Arizona, and Tampa Bay, New Orleans, who else? Philadelphia Eagles, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals, and what other teams won? Cincinnati Bengals, Carolina Panthers. Those are the New Orleans Saints. Those are the teams that won. New Orleans Saints, and some other teams won. I can't really name them all. Seattle Seahawks won. And what's amazing is that all 4 of the AFC teams won Kansas City, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, and Denver. And all the NFC teams won in week one: San Francisco, Seattle, Los Angeles Rams, and Arizona Cardinals. So that was quite a stir to see. And week two is going to be even better. Be on the lookout for it. And that's all I have for now for this sports live stream on the NFL.